Hello friends, welcome back to the video lecture on Python classes and functions. This is in continuation with the first video. I will put the link in the description. Myself Shaman GS, working as assistant professor in the Department of Computer Science and Engineering, PES ITM Shivamogga. Today we are going to discuss brief introduction about classes and functions. Then we shall discuss about pure functions and modifiers, and at the last we are going to discuss prototyping versus planning. Before we start discussion on our actual topics, please pause this video for a while and subscribe to my channel, like to this video and share this video among your friends. In the last video lecture we had discussed about creating the class, methods, functions by taking various examples such as a point is a two-dimensional object, and then box uses the point as the inner class. If you have missed the first video lecture, I recommend you to go through the first video lecture. The link is given in the description before continuing this video. Today we are going to discuss various things about classes and functions by taking an example of the time. Here we are going to declare a time class which represents the time of the day, and its attributes are hour, minute and second. And by the declaration, this is a default constructor, as we are not seeing any init method that is present inside the class. And with this we are going to create a new time object, and we are going to assign attributes such as hours, minutes and seconds with the values. Time is an object of the class time, and time has the attribute hour. Hour is initialized with 11. Time dot minute is initialized with 59. Time dot second is initialized with 30. This indicates 11th hour, 59th minute and 30th second. We shall see the same thing by using the object diagram. We are already aware of these type of the object diagram, where this time indicates the name of the class, and this is the container named by the object name. Here the time with the lower case, this indicates the object of the type class time, and these are the attributes of this object. Hour is initialized with 11, minute is initialized with 59, second is initialized with 30. Now we shall see a program to define the class time and an object of the class, that is time in the lower case, and a function that prints the time object in the form hour colon minute colon second. This is the program for defining a class time. So we are going to use the keyword class followed by the name of the class, that is time, to define the class time. And we already know that this is a default constructor where nothing is present inside the class. And here in the main program we are going to create an instance of the class time in the name of the lowercase time. This is also an object of the type time class, and here we are going to assign the attributes time dot hour equals to 1, time dot minute equals to 59, time dot seconds equals to 30. We are assigning the attributes here, and we will try to print these values in the form of the given format by using a function print time. So this is the definition of the print time. Here it takes object t as the parameter, and it prints attributes t dot hour, t dot minute, t dot second in the format. So this is the given format. Percentage dot 2 indicates 2 digits of type integer followed by a colon, and 2 digits of type integer followed by a colon, and 2 digits of type integer. So this defines the format of printing. If one of the attribute is single digit, just like this, it converts 1 into 2 digit number by appending 0. So it becomes 01. Let's try to execute this, and we shall see the output in the console window. So here it produces the output. You can able to see this. The output is 01 followed by a colon 59 followed by a colon 30. This indicates the time format 1 hour 59 minute 30 seconds. Now we shall modify this program to give some more functionalities. We are going to write one more boolean function is after that takes two time objects t1 and t2 and returns true if t1 followed by t2 chronologically and false in the other case. Boolean function means this function will return only two values, either true or false. So those type of the functions we will call it as the boolean functions, and it receives two time objects as the parameters t1 and t2. t1 also has three attributes just like hour, minute and second. Here t1 you have to assume like that this time has to be replaced by t1. So t1 is a container of type time and it has three parameters hours, minute and second with different values. t2 is also one more object of type time and it also has three parameters hours, minute and second with different values. We are going to see whether t1 is greater than t2 or t2 is greater than t1 or t1 is equal to t2. This function should return true if t1 followed by t2 chronologically, meaning is that t1 should have lesser values when compared to the t2. If that is the case, this function is going to return true. In all other cases it is going to return false. Now we shall see the program. The program contains class time. This is same as the earlier one. Nothing is present inside other than a comment line, and we don't have a print time because we are not going to print the time in the format hour colon minute colon second. Now we have a new function that is after. Is after verifies that t1 follows t2. t1 is the time object that is passed by the main program and t2 is another time object passed by the main program. This program should return true if t1 follows t2, meaning is that the values of the t1 should be greater than the values of the t2. If that is the case, this function is going to return true. In other case, it is going to return false. So the code inside this function is just the comparison. So t1 dot hour is compared with t2 dot hour. t1 dot minute is compared with t2 dot minute. t1 dot second is compared with t2 dot second. Individual attributes are compared. Okay. So we will see what is there inside the main program. In main program we have two time objects. One is the start time and another one is the end time. Start time and end time are the two main time objects of the type time class. So start time has the value 12 hour 22 minute 40 second. End time has the values 11 hour 22 minute 40 seconds. Note that the minute attribute and second attribute of both the objects are kept same just for sake of understanding. So here we have to analyze start time follows the end time, meaning is that start time values are somewhat greater when compared to the end time values. If we pass these parameters to the function is after, and this function should returns the true because the start time is greater than the end time. Start time is being passed to t1 and end time is being passed to the t2 object, and t1 is followed by t2, meaning is that the values of the t1 or the start time should have more values when compared to the value of t2 or end time. We will call this function through a print statement. It is going to print whatever the value this function returns. Because this is the boolean function, it returns only true or false by taking the condition this one. Print is after, and we are going to pass two objects start time and end time to the function. So this function verifies the values of each object and returns the value true or false. Now we shall try to execute this program. So first let me clear the console. So we'll execute this. The output is true, meaning is that t1 follows t2. Now we will try to modify the values. This 12 I am going to turn it into 10, save the values and will execute the same. Now we got the result false. Meaning is that T1 is not followed by T2. So T1 appears at the beginning followed by T2. So if this is the case, according to the problem statement, we have to return false. The false is been returned by this function. The same thing is been printed by the print statement. Okay. Similarly, you can keep the hour attribute of both the objects same. So just I will keep it as 10:10. Next, you can modify the minute attribute and second attribute, and you can see the outputs. Now we shall move on to our next topic, pure functions. Pure function does not modify any of the object passed to it as arguments, and it has no effect like displaying a value or getting user input other than a returning value. So this pure function does not modify any of the attributes of the arguments. So T1 and T2 are the objects that is being passed from the main program. T1 and T2 are not being modified by this function. It uses another object to get the value of T1 and T2 and return the object that is being declared here. So we shall see this code snippet. So this is the function add time. This is going to receive two arguments, T1 and T2. T1 and T2 are the objects that is being passed by the main function. A new object is being defined here, sum equals to time. Sum has the three attributes, hour, minute and second. Sum dot hour equals to T1 dot hour plus T2 dot hour. Sum dot minute equals to T1 dot minute plus T2 dot minute. Sum dot second equals to T1 dot second plus T2 dot second. And we are going to return the object sum to the main function. Okay, so we shall see this in the code. The code contains declaration of the class, the same print time function which prints the time in hour, minute, second format, and we have a new function add time. This is going to add the two time objects T1 and T2 and return the another object that is been sum. And the main program we have been declared with two time objects, the start time and the duration. So start is the time object and duration is also a time object. Start has its own attributes 9 hour 45 minute 0 second. Duration is 1 hour 35 minute and 0 second. So this can be a starting of a movie time and this is the duration of the time. So when we add the duration of a movie to the starting of that movie, we are supposed to get the end time of the movie. So we are going to call the add time through a print function. Add time followed by the start object and duration object. So this is been received by add time T1 comma T2. A new time object is been defined sum. Sum dot hour equals to T1 dot hour plus T2 dot hour. Sum dot minute equals to T1 dot minute plus T2 dot minute. Sum dot second equals to T1 dot second plus T2 dot second. So ultimately this function should add T1 and T2. Okay, we shall try to execute this. So when we add the start time with the duration, we are supposed to get the end time. So we are going to add 1 hour 35 minutes to 9 hour 45 minutes and we are supposed to get some different answer. So the answer which we got is 10 hour 80 minutes. This is not acceptable because the maximum amount of a minute is 60 only. Here it simply adds T1 dot minute with T2 dot minute. So 45 minutes is been added with 35 minutes and we are going to get 80 as the minutes. But in our time convention, we don't have the 80 minutes. This is supposed to be restricted to the maximum of 60 minutes. The rest of the things has to be added to the hours and we are supposed to modify the minute. So this is not the proper addition of time. Meaning is that we are not going to get the end time by adding the duration to the starting time of a movie. We are supposed to modify this by another program. In the modification program, every other thing remains same, only modification is the add time function. At the beginning, we are going to simply add t1 dot hour with t2 dot hour, t1 dot minute with t2 dot minute, t1 dot second with t2 dot second, and later we are going to compare whether the seconds is greater than 60. If the second is greater than 60, we are supposed to subtract 60 from that. The left out seconds will remain in the sum dot second, and we have to increment the minute. If the minutes are greater than 60, the extra minutes that is more than the 60 have to be subtracted. The left out minutes will reassign to the sum dot minute, and we are supposed to increment sum dot hour. So this is the actual addition of the time, and here we will pass the same attributes 9 hour 45 minutes and 1 hour 35 minutes. This is the starting of a movie and this is the duration of the movie. When we add the duration of the movie to the starting of the movie, we are supposed to get the end of the movie. So we will execute this. Now we got the correct time. 9 hour 45 minutes if added with 1 hour 35 minutes, that end time of the movie should be 11 hour 20 minutes. So this is the perfect working. We have to do modification in the add time so that the seconds should not exceed by 60 and the minutes should not exceed by 60. Now we shall move on to our second type of the functions, that are modifier functions. Modifier functions modify any of the object passed to it. Before we continue this, let us briefly revise the earlier one, that are pure function. In pure function, the objects passed to it are not modified. T1 and T2 are the object that are passed to the function. T1 and T2 are nowhere modified inside the function. Here a new object is being declared sum. Sum is being assigned with the attributes of T1 and T2. But T1 and T2 are not modified. Let us come back to the modifier. In modifier, the object passed to the function will be modified. For example, we shall see this code snippet. So this is the function for increment. It takes two parameters. One is the time. Time is the object that is sent by the main function, and the number of seconds. The overall idea of this code snippet is add seconds to the second attribute of this time object. Time dot second is been added with the second. Here we have to observe that the seconds is been added to the time object that is been received. So the receiving object itself will get modified in this function. Whereas in the earlier one, the T1 and T2 are received from the main function. They are not modified. They kept intact. Come back here. So in this function, the receiving object itself will get modified by the function. So such functions we will call it as the modifier function. We shall see this with an example of the program. Here in this program, the declaration of the class remains same, and the print time, this function is also same as the earlier example. The function that is being declared is the increment function. As told earlier, increment function will take two parameters, time object and the number of seconds. These parameters are passed by the main function. So let us start our discussion from the main program. So in main program, a start is the object that is being declared of the type time, and the attributes were defined. Start dot hour is initialized with 9 hour, minutes with the 45 and seconds with the 0, and I want to add 30 seconds to this object. So for this I have defined a function called as the increment. So I will pass this object start and I will pass these seconds to this function, so that this function will add these many seconds to this object. Before we call this function increment, first let's print what is this start object with the help of the print time. Let me comment these things so that I can show only the start object and their attributes. The time is 9 hour 45 minutes and 00 seconds. This is before I add 30 seconds. So let's uncomment these things and comment this one. Save this. What we have done is I have called the function increment and I have passed the two parameters. One is the start object and add seconds. Add seconds means 30 seconds. The function increment receives these parameters and assigns to the time object and seconds. For the time object, the time dot second attribute is been added with the received number of seconds, and later we are going to check it in the code that if the number of seconds exceeds the 60, and we are going to correct those extra seconds with by adding 1 minute to the time dot minute, and if the number of minutes exceeds 60, we are going to correct that by adding 1 extra to the hour and retaining the left out minutes as just like earlier, and we are going to return the time object itself. What the object we are going to receive, we are going to return the same object to the calling function or the main function, and once it is been received, the content of the start object are been modified, and once again we are going to print the same thing. Okay, so let us execute this, and once we execute this, these 30 seconds have been added to the object start. Now we can see the output is 9 hour 45 minutes and 30 seconds. Before calling the function increment, the earlier output was 9 hours 45 minutes 00 seconds, just like as we declared, and after adding 30 seconds the time becomes 9 hour 45 minutes 30 seconds by the help of the increment function. And we have to note down that the object that is being received is modified and is sent back to the calling function. Such type of the functions we will call it as the modifiers. Now we will move on to our next topic, conversion of time to integer and integer to time. In measuring of the time, the maximum count is 60 only. Means after 60 seconds we will move on to the next minute. After 60 minutes we will move on to the next hour. So the maximum count is 60 only. That is been followed by base 60 or sexagesimal number system. In sexagesimal number system, time object is really a 3-digit number, whereas the second attribute is ones column, the minute attribute is 60s column, and hour attribute is 3600 column. We are not going in detail how to measure and count sexagesimal number systems. We will concentrate more on the conversion of time to integer and from integer to time. For that, we are going to write the function time to integer. This function accepts time as the object from the main program. Here, the time dot hour is been multiplied by 60 because every hour has 60 number of minutes. I will explain the calculation. For example, let us take 2 hours 10 minutes. So time dot hour is 2 into 60, that makes 120 minutes, plus time dot minute. I said 2 hour 10 minutes. So 120 minutes plus 10 minutes, that makes 130 minutes. So there will be total of 130 minutes. 130 minutes into 60, that makes so many number of the seconds, plus if we have declared any seconds, that is going to be added into the seconds. So that converts every hour, minute and second into only the seconds, and we are going to return the seconds to the calling function. Now we are going to write the second function, integer to time. This function converts integer to time. Meaning is that this function takes seconds as the input and converts seconds into number of hours, number of minutes and the number of seconds. For this function, we are going to make use of the inbuilt function div mod. Div mod is going to divide the first argument by the second argument and returns the quotient and remainder as a tuple. So first we will understand what is div mod. Div mod, this is going to take two arguments. The first argument is being divided by the second argument. The quotient and remainder is being sent as the tuple. So this gives two outputs. One is the quotient and the other one is the remainder. Now we shall start analyzing this function. This function takes seconds as the input sent by the calling function, and we are going to define a time object. This time object is being assigned by the values returned by the div mod. First we shall take the number of seconds that is being received by this function, and these many seconds are being divided by 60 to make so many number of the minutes. For example, if the number of seconds is being received as 130 seconds, so 130 divided by 60, that gives 2 as the quotient, that is as good as 2 minutes, and the remainder will be 10. Remainder will be the 10 seconds. The remainder 10 seconds will be directly assigned to the time dot second attribute, and the 2 minutes will be assigned to the minutes. These minutes will be converted into once again the hours. For example, if these minutes is once again 140 minutes, 140 minutes is been divided by 60 in order to give 2 hours and 20 minutes. So 2 hours is been assigned to the time dot hour and 20 minutes is been assigned to the time dot minute. So ultimately we have assigned all the attributes of time object. So time dot hour is been assigned, time dot minute is been assigned, and time dot second is been assigned. Now this time object can be sent to the calling function as a return type. In order to verify whether the time to integer and integer to time conversions are correct or not, we have to put one function inside the another function, and we have to verify with the input, such as time to integer of integer to time of x. X is nothing but the number of seconds it accepts. The overall output of this should be equal to the initial number of seconds. If this is so, then our conversion is correct. We are going to verify this conversion with the help of a code. In this code, as usual, we are going to write class time, and there is nothing inside that time. The second one is print time function. This is same as the earlier function. Here we are going to write two functions. One is time to integer. This accepts time as the object, and integer to time, this accepts seconds as the input. And this is the main program. We shall start analyzing the main program. One time object is been defined, and 1 hour 59 minutes 30 seconds is been assigned to the time object. Now we have to convert these 1 hour 59 minutes 30 seconds to the overall seconds by calling the time to integer function. And we are going to pass the parameter time object. So we are going to call time to integer and passing the parameter time object that is been received here, and this function is going to convert everything into number of seconds, and it returns the output. First we shall see what is the output of this. Let me comment this part, save the code, and I will execute this. 1 hour 59 minute 30 seconds is equivalent to 7170 seconds. Now I will comment this print, and I will uncomment these two lines, and will save this. Now what we have done, first we have converted 1 hour 59 minutes 30 seconds to number of seconds, and these number of seconds, once again I am calling the second function integer to time and passing the 7170 seconds to convert back into the time by this function. This function accepts 7170 seconds as the input, and it converts those seconds into the time object. and it is going to return the time object. For printing the time object, we have already written print time function. This function is going to print the time object in the given format, that is hour colon minute colon second format. So I will execute this code. I have passed 7170 seconds to this function, and this function has converted all the seconds into so many number of hours, minutes and seconds, and it is been sent the time object as the return type. The return type time is been assigned to the time2, and I am going to print the time2 object. The output of time2 is 1 hour 59 minutes 30 seconds, that is same as the initial assignment. To verify this code, let me uncomment the last part of the code and comment the initial print statements. Save the code and I will execute. The last print is going to return as 7170. This is same as the earlier number of the seconds. So this verifies that the conversion of time to seconds and second to the time is correct. Once we verify these two functions work perfectly, means time to integer and integer to time works perfectly, then we can write one more function for adding the two times. Add time is the function that receives two time objects t1 and t2 sent by the main program. These time1 and time2 objects are being once again called to the earlier functions time to integer of t1 and time to integer of t2. Time to integer function will receives the time object and converts time to seconds. Similarly for the second time object t2, these many number of seconds plus these many number of seconds will be assigned to the new variable seconds. Once we have total number of the seconds of t1 and t2, then we can once again call integer to time for converting these many number of seconds back to the time object. Once we convert that, then we can return the time object. We shall analyze this by taking the program. This program is the modification of the earlier one, where class time remains same, print time also remains same, time to integer remains same, integer to time remains same. We are going to add one more function, add time. This accepts two time objects t1 and t2 sent by the main program. Before we analyze this function, let us start with the main program. In main program we have two time objects. One is the initial time assigned by 1 hour 59 minutes 30 seconds, and the second time object final time assigned by 1 hour 0 minute 30 seconds. Now I am going to call add time by this function, print time of add time followed by initial time and final time. Initial time and final time objects are being passed to this function add time. So initial time is been assigned to the t1, final time is been assigned to the t2. t1 and t2 are further converted into seconds by calling time to integer of t1 and time to integer of t2. So t1 is converted into so many seconds plus t2 is being converted into so many seconds. This is being added and stored it in another variable seconds. Once we have these seconds can be converted back into the time object by calling into time followed by seconds. Into time followed by seconds will convert the seconds into time object, and this is returned back to the main calling function. So the control will come to here with the return type of time object, and this time object we are passing into the printing the time function to print the time in the format hour colon minute colon seconds. First we shall clear the console and I will execute this code. So the output is 3 hours 0 minutes 0 seconds. This comes from the initial time is 1 hour 59 minutes 30 seconds added with 1 hour 0 minutes 30 seconds. we'll make it as the 3 hour. So 1 hour 59 minutes 30 seconds plus 1 hour 0 minutes 30 seconds will make the overall time as 3 hours 0 minutes and 0 seconds. This completes the discussion on classes and functions. In the next video lecture we shall start discussion on classes and methods. Till then, thank you.